Soul singer Angie Stone, who first gained recognition as a member of the pioneering female hip-hop trio The Sequence before establishing herself as a leading figure in soul music, has passed away at the age of 63. Stone tragically lost her life in a car accident early Saturday morning in Montgomery, Alabama. According to a representative, she was returning from a performance with her band and background singers when their Sprinter van overturned. She was the only fatality in the crash. A Grammy-nominated artist, Stone was widely known for her 2001 hit Wish I Didn't Miss You, a soulful track featuring her deep, distinctive vocals and a sample of the OJ's classic Backstabbers. Over the course of her career, she released 10 solo albums and earned 3 Grammy nominations, including Best R&B Performance by a Duo or Group with Vocals in 2003 and Best Female R&B Vocal Performance in 2004. Born in Columbia, South Carolina, Stone began her music career at 16 as part of The Sequence, the first female hip-hop trio to sign with Sugar Hill Records, though they released several albums. Their biggest success came with the 1979 single Funk You Up, a song that later became a staple in sampled music, influencing tracks like Mark Ronson and Bruno Mars' Uptown Funk and Erykah Badu's Love of My Life worldwide.
My name is Sasha Monet and welcome to the channel. Today is March 13th, 2025. And this is the second part of my thoughts on the tragic death of Angie Stone. Now, on yesterday, I shared some of my opinions about her tragic death. And if you watch part 1, I stated that I do not believe that, I just don't believe what the news is telling us about the way that she died. In my personal opinion, I believe that the news story that they gave us, I believe that it's a cover-up story. And the reason why I believe this is because anytime you have a celebrity who goes on a rant about money that is owed to them from the industry or from their record label, you will see a pattern. For those of you who have eyes to see and an ear to hear, and I'm talking about spiritually, even if you are a worldly person and you have no discernment or you have no wisdom, you will see a pattern of celebrities who, when they cried about money being owed to them from their record label, you will see a pattern of celebrities who have been I don't want to get my video flagged, so I'm trying to be careful about the way that I word this. But you will see a pattern of celebrities who died tragically. Okay, if you think about Prince, and when Prince stated that money had been owed to him, not long after that, he died tragically. When you think about Michael Jackson, and when he went on a rant and he exposed that the music label that he had been under owed him money, and you start talking about catalogs and royalties and being compensated for music and rights and copyrights, Michael, he died tragically. All of a sudden, he was only 50 years old when he died. When you think about who else, I'm sure there are others, but when you think about celebrities who died when they, made these claims and these allegations, then all of a sudden they're no longer here. Now you have Angie Stone, who made a public video on live about money being owed to her, and all of a sudden she's no longer here. So I just do not believe for 1 second that her death was it was an accident. I'm sorry, I just don't believe it. I'm gonna play some clips from some artists who claim that their record company owed them money, and let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Thanks for watching.
The reason why it became such a big deal back then is ever since my third album, I wasn't really taking large advances from the recording companies. I was recording the albums myself in my own studio. So the way I looked at it, I owned the work because I paid for it. And I did all the work. I created it, so I felt like it should belong to me. That said, the companies felt otherwise, and they would always hold this contract up and say, well, you signed it. And I say, well, I understand that. It's not like I want to leave. I just want to, you know, talk about this thing and see if we can't make it more fair. Of course, they wouldn't change, because if they changed, they wouldn't really exist. And that's kind of the situation we're in right today. They're not going to exist much longer. But it's not like we're against them or anything like that. The idea is that we find better ways of working with one another. It shouldn't be a situation where they own the album or the work. We're talking about intellectual copyright. If they're going to be indeed a delivery service, then that's fine. But even FedEx doesn't say that they own the thing that they ship, you know, right? Because ultimately it keeps us apart, and it keeps the people in power in charge of us. So ultimately we're going to have to learn how to be together and become one people, and get somebody to actually show you what's going on in it, because it's a real thing. You don't hear a lot of young people talking about things like I talk about, because they really haven't lived. They haven't gone through a lot of experiences yet, and we can't really expect them to. It's just not all a party, you know, alcoholism and promiscuity. Get some elders up in here and let's talk about all this. And distribution service, I mean, what do we really need record companies for? I mean, really. Well, it's not your game. You didn't make the rules, so everything comes hard. And as long as you're signed to a contract, you're going to take a minority share of the winnings. A select few of us will do well, the majority will not. So as a people, we'll be considered a minority. But stop. Let's take a moment and look at yourselves. There's nothing minor about you. You are a blessed people. You're the most talented on earth, and you are still grateful. That is why upon winning in their game, you always thank God. Tonight I would like to ask one favor of you. Imagine what we'll all be like in our own game. Peace and love. The music business runs like this. You'll have a manager, you'll have an attorney, you'll have various record company people. Everybody's taking a cut of everything that you do. So when you're in the fold, when you're in the club and everybody's getting a piece of everything, your tour, your publishing, any endorsements, and when they're getting a piece of all of that, you will have hit records. The moment you step away from that and you want to, in fact, take control of your own life, your own experience, then you'll find you're not hot anymore.
Mariah Carey just had this big $20 million. That's like a huge deal, right?
So you feeling that?
No, well, what I mean, I don't understand. What the public sees the word $20 million an album. Well,
let's see. Do you all think that's a good deal?
What? I mean, tell me why. I mean, what am I missing?
Okay, let's do some math.
Okay.
If
do math like that?
Yeah, kinda. If you sign me, you signed me to a record company,
right,
or a record deal. Let's suppose you have a record company.
Right.
How much would you give me? The album sells for $18, right? $18.
Whatever. Yeah.
All right. How much of that would you give me?
Well, I don't know how it works.
Well, no.
Half.
Half? The half sound good? All right. Check this out. If I sell 1 million copies, I'm gonna have $10 million. Right. Roughly $10 million.
Right.
If I sell 2 million copies, I got $20 million.
Right.
If I just sell 3 million copies, I got $30 million. Now who has the biggest record deal?
Oh, I see. Yeah, right. Okay.
Right? So Mariah kind of got screwed.
The death of Prince.
This is CNN Breaking News.
And CNN has now confirmed that the artist Prince is dead. We're just getting confirmation. Earlier, we knew there was a police investigation underway at his estate studio in Minnesota. Now, official word, we're getting the word now that Prince has died. CNN's Miguel Marquez is following the story for us. So what do we know so far, Miguel?
Well, this is certainly the sort of news that you don't want to believe is true, but Prince has died at the age of 57 years old, according to a family member who does not want to be named. Several members of close to Prince have also reported to other news organizations that he has died. Police in that area, this is just west of Minneapolis, have been investigating it since this morning. They were making next of kin notifications. Clearly, news like this is very, very difficult to keep close to the vest. Last Thursday, we know that he performed in Atlanta. His plane landed, an emergency landing on his way back to Minneapolis. A spokesperson at the time said that he was recovering from a flu and was fine. He actually went on to perform a concert the next day after that, so it seemed like he was rebounding and doing fine. Just looking at his Twitter feed earlier, he was saying he was rejuvenated and doing better. He was tweeting up until a couple of days ago. I can tell you now that the news of his death is getting out there, the internet has just exploded with shock and grief over the fact that this person, the number of songs, 7-time Grammy winner, 30 nominations, the number of songs that have touched people's lives throughout his entire career. This is going to be very, very hard news to take.
And Tommy Mottola is a devil. I'm not supposed to say what I'm going to say right now, but I have to let you in on a secret.
Say it.
So, please don't videotape what I'm going to say, okay? Because the companies take advantage of them. They really do. And Sony, being the artist that I am, at Sony, I've generated several $1 billion for Sony, several billion, and they really thought that my mind is always on music and dancing, and it usually is, but they never thought that this performer, myself, would outthink them.
Yeah.
So we can't let them get away with what they're trying to do, because now I'm a free agent. I just owe Sony one more album. It's just a box set, really. It's with 2 new songs, which I've written ages ago. Because every album that I record, I write, like, literally, I'm telling you the truth, I write at least 120 songs every album I do. So I can do the box set and just give them any 2 songs. So I'm leaving Sony a free agent, owning half of Sony. So I own half of Sony's, and I'm leaving them, and they're very angry at me because of it. But I just did good business, you know.
Tell him! Tell him, Michael! Tell the story!
But, so, the way they get revenge is to try and destroy my album. But I've always said, you know, good art never dies. Thank you. I love Unbreakable. You know, turn that off, please. No what? I don't mind. Tape it.
Oh! Michael is getting gangster today! Yeah.
Mariah Carey, after divorcing Tony, came to me crying. She was crying so bad I had to hold her. And she said to me that this is an evil man. And Michael, this man follows me, she said. He taps her phones. And he's very, very evil, and she doesn't trust him. And he is a horrible human being. And we have to continue our drive until he's terminated.
Oh! There you go!
We can't allow him to do this to great artistry. We just can't. I just want you to know I appreciate everything you've done. You've been amazing. You're so loyal, Diana. everybody, Waldo, all the people here, I love you all. You've been amazing.
Thank you!
I love you.
When
We're
Michael
getting some
Jackson
breaking news
died,
coming into the situation right now from about Michael Jackson, the king of pop, who's 50 years old. Let's go to Deborah Farrick. She's working the story for us. What are we picking up, Deb?
Well, Wolf, here's what we can tell you. This is what's being reported by KTLA. Apparently, Michael Jackson suffered cardiac arrest this afternoon. He was rushed to UCLA Medical Center.
At 12:21 this afternoon, the Los Angeles 911 operators took a call in regards to a need for a medical emergency at the 100 block of Candlewood Drive, which is in West Los Angeles. When the paramedics got on scene, they treated the patient and then immediately transported the patient to UCLA.
We just talked to Brian Oxman. He is the family attorney for the Jackson, and he says that according to Randy Jackson, Michael Jackson's brother, Michael Jackson collapsed in his home in West Los Angeles this morning, and they called paramedics. He says that the family is either at UCLA Medical Center or en route to UCLA Medical Center.
CNN sources are now saying, multiple sources, that Michael Jackson is in a coma at UCLA Medical Center, suffered from cardiac arrest, and is now in a coma.
If you look at the aerials that you're showing on air and you see the number of people that have already gathered outside the hospital, if that isn't testament to the star power of Michael Jackson, I don't know what is.
And we're just getting this in right now, and it's very, very sad news. Jim Moret, and to all of our viewers, both the Los Angeles Times and CBS News are both now reporting that Michael Jackson has died. Now, CNN has not confirmed that, but the LA Times and CBS News are reporting that Michael Jackson, 50 years old, the king of pop, has died. A very, very sad moment.
What was Michael Jackson doing in Los Angeles before he was taken to the hospital? What new information do you have for us?
Well, we do know that he's been in Los Angeles preparing to undertake this major concert event that he was scheduled to perform in London
I have to stop you for a second, AJ. CNN can now confirm from the LA coroner that Michael Jackson is dead.